And as if by magic, we're in video number 3 for Multiply Listens to Demos. And yeah, let's keep working through them. Got some cool ideas in some of these tracks and some relevant points of noting for feedback as well. So hopefully we continue on the good stretch. It's also a good sign that we've clicked about 6 emails and all of the links have worked. I tell you what, normally when I look through my demos inbox, every other link doesn't work, which is like great. So yeah, let's listen to the next one. And this one's from Van Dice. And it's called Do That Trap. I like the name of the song. I imagine it's trap music, I suppose. Let's it's also available for free download. Let's do a click. That's cool. I'm not keen on that sound there, to be honest. That main sound that dominates. It's like dubstep, but without the refinement that you need with the dubstep sound nowadays. That one. That's better. That's good as well. That's cool. So I mean, it's got some nice ideas in it. It's just that one sound that puts me off. It's like a, I mean, it sounds like a lazy dubstep sound, which is nothing against you or anything. I don't know if you made it or used the preset or what, but yeah, it just needs to be a little bit more kind of refined as a kind of aggressive dubstep sound. But you got some nice sounds like the ones that are around here. Like that one. That's more like it. I prefer that sort of thing. So it's a bit more, it's kind of aggressive and dubstep-y, but a little bit nicer. So there's some really cool noises in this kind of section around here. Around here. So it's got some nice kind of attack on that bass. There's some really interesting sort of sounds in that section, which is cool. But yeah, otherwise it's missing, I guess, a little bit of. It doesn't really get me like some trap. It's like trap tracks just get me kind of moving in like a. In a really cool way. That doesn't really get me moving in that way. So I don't know. I don't really know what it's missing. I don't really know. Weird one. Normally you can tell, or sometimes you can tell what a track's missing, but I don't really know what it is. So yeah, that's from if you like it, it's free download from the guys at official Van Dice. Do that trap. And let's listen to the next one. I like the fact that most of these are SoundCloud links. That's always helps, by the way. Granted, SoundCloud does convert your track to 128k MP3. You can always tell enough from 128k MP3 if it's worth listening to the full version, basically. So, cool. Hey Man is one of my next tracks. Cool. Listen to this guy. Sorry we can't find that track. Oh, you got jinxed it. Cool. Next one is Breaking Physics. Just want some general feedback and stuff like that. Cool. Let's hope this works. It works. Cool. Breaking Physics, unnamed, unmastered. Give you a bit of a tip. Don't put unmastered in the title. Either master it or kind of master it, or just don't say it's unmastered, because it's not really going to help. It's never going to help you to say something is unmastered. Basically, if you also, it says here almost finished. Best not say almost finished, because my only bit of feedback is going to be finish it. Well, we'll listen to a bit of it, but my feedback will be to finish it. This part was an error when I rendered it. That's also not a good sign. This is the problem. I'm listening. I'm thinking, which bits does it need to finish? And I don't really know. So, it's nothing against breaking physics. I get sent these quite a lot. But yeah, literally, if you send a track that's not finished, and especially if you say it's not finished, then I can't really give you any useful advice about it, because I could say something like, needs another rise in here, or the drums need to be compressed properly, or it needs to be limited. But then you said you haven't done that yet, so I don't know if you're planning on doing that. So I don't really know. So that's going to be some good feedback advice. Make sure you finish your tracks before you send them over. And if you haven't mastered it, or let's say, I mean, I know kind of what it is a lot of the time, because pretty much all artists are like this. You'll finish a track, and then you won't quite be happy with it. Like, you'll think, oh, I might still change these little things, but that's kind of fine. Pretty much all my tracks, I've still wanted to maybe change a few little things I wasn't sure on, but they're still kind of done, and you still got to present them as finished tracks. Like, you could send someone like a finished track, and then you can always go back and tweak it, and if they really, really like it and they want to sign it for their label or whatever, you can still send them a revised version. That happens all the time. But do definitely just present it as a finished track, basically, is what I'm going to say. Cool. So yeah, that was breaking physics. That was unknown. So next one is Ronaldo 86A. I recognize that name. That's SoundCloud. So I think his name is maybe TaylorMade. There you go. Or Mac. Yeah, no, Ronaldo 868. That's going to be his name. Remix this track. Let's listen.
Oh na na na. Oh na 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 na. Oh na na na. Oh na 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 na. Oh na na na. Oh na 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 na. Oh na na na. Oh na na na. This is an emergency. I'm begging urgently. This is a serious case. The way you're putting work on me, just like a surgeon. Where's the vibe in me?
That's a really bad layer. Don't add that layer. Yeah, that layer you added for that next little section really didn't add anything to the track. It's cool. I mean, what I like about it is actually the original track. So and I don't know how much of the original is the original or how much you kind of remix. So it's hard for me to comment too much, but it's a nice choice for remix at least. Yeah, it's a hard one to really judge, but as a track, it didn't get me super excited. So I guess that would be feedback. And yeah, it just sounded a little bit, the drum sounded a little bit repetitive. I'd like a bit more variation. And the synths kind of stood out, but in the wrong way, kind of sonically. So like the synths almost sounded like they belonged in a different track, or maybe they just need some more processing, because I know this part of the track has kind of, oh, I got a message, has got kind of like, it's got drum sounds, it's got vocals and background like synth layers, which I imagine a lot of it came from the remix, and that all kind of sounds like it fits together. So like this part of the track sounds like one style, and then the synths drop, and then it's like the synths don't really sound like they belong. They could probably be made to sound like they belong. So maybe they need to be put in like a weird convolution reverb space or something. I don't know. Well, they need to just be worked with so they sound like they belong in the track a bit more. That's the way I kind of look at it. Otherwise, yeah, cool. Right, next one is... We do have time for another one in this video. Please listen to my track. Okay. It is from a dude called Bamboo. That's a great name. That's just some dude called Character, and the track is called Bamboo. I really want to pet monkey and call it Bamboo now. That's a really good idea. It's Melbourne Bounce. see a problem. Yeah, that kick is all kinds of horrible. Thing is, a Melbourne bounce is to make the kind of the rhythmicness of it work, because it's built on that kind of bounce rhythm. The drums and that bass need to be so on point because they really define the whole bounciness of it. It's got to bounce, and like this to me doesn't bounce. That sounds pretty crushed, and I don't know whether that's the kick that's been crushed before you used it, or whether you crushed the kick, or whether it's been crushed in mastering. No idea. But yeah, that's not really doing what it should be doing. So this bit's really cool. Like, there's some cool kind of musical ideas and stuff. Still could use a little bit more work, I guess. But yeah, for that, I'd really focus on with Melbourne Bounce is kind of the good kind of musical ideas for some nice sounds, which is what you kind of have going on there. And then making sure your kind of kick and your bass that are kind of defining that bounce are really, really functional and work really, really well. And then stuff will just kind of fit in around it, basically. But let's listen to it a little bit more just to see if it changes. See, this again, some really kind of cool musical ideas. Like, I really like that synth that kind of darts about. There's some really cool stuff. So that bit's kind of there and good, but it sounds like I just think you can work on the actual kind of engineering side of your production just to make sure that. I'm looking at the waveform as well. You can kind of tell that it's not quite doing what it should do. Really work on making sure your mixes are quite clean and punchy, making sure you're using good samples, making sure you're processing them in a good way, making sure things like, I could kind of tell looking at this waveform that kind of rise you had, I think had a lot, kind of too much low end in there, low end rumble. But yeah, so just kind of really work on the production. You've got some cool musical ideas, so you've got the important bit, but you've got kind of the bit you should start off with, but then you just need to kind of refine the production to make it kind of production-wise where it should be. Because like a lot of genres, there's some really good Melbourne bounce, so you got a lot to compete with. But yeah, it's cool. It's free download if anyone wants it. Bamboo. And cool. I'm going to call that video cut. I think that's video 3 we've done. Is that right? Did like 3 and then 3 and then 3. Yeah, that's the 3rd video done. And then let's go to video number 4.